Alright, welcome to part maybe one of the Cedar Point road trip stuff. We're here in the car with stuff, and to pass the time on this many hour drive, I'm going to try to do a terrible GTA 5 speedrun here while in the car. I've got the live split going there, the power source over here so I can keep playing, and yeah, let's see how far road trip percent goes. The speedrun starts in 3, 2, 1. Yes, I want to start a new game. Okay, whatever, it's going.
And so were we off to Cedar Point. Hi, it's future me in front of a green screen and being cut off on this one side. So just like the last time I did something like this, I'm going to be interjecting with various bits on a green screen here. Oh, this is dragging along at the beginning of the video. Ooh, don't click off. Anyhow, yes, today we're starting with part 1, which is, quite frankly, the drive and start of the GTA 5 speedrun. Yes, because I actually did speedrun, or try to speedrun GTA 5 with 0 experience, mind you, while in a car. Interesting results. Anyhow, let's continue.
Alright then, at 1 hour 56 minutes into the run, we have hit Mr. Phillips. Admittedly not a great time for some sort of Trevor Presents speedrun, but hey!
Trevor Presents is only till after...
Well, yeah. Now we wait for the Pennsylvania border. Guess that brings us closer to the Pennsylvania sign. That's marked at 2 hours 20 minutes into the run. Probably the next milestone to talk about is the Ohio border.
Hi, me again. Something I should probably mention is the route we're taking. So we started in upstate New York a couple hours before I started actually recording and doing stuff. We drove west for a while. That's when I started at the beginning of this video. And now, at this point, we've crossed into Pennsylvania. And there's a rest stop right over the border, apparently. Cool things you find out.
And that marks 3 hours on the speedrun well, we're in the middle of the mission, Fame or Shame, and we are approaching the Ohio-Pennsylvania border.
Welcome to Ohio! The heart of it all.
Man, that was hard. I don't think that captures particular. But we're now in Ohio, and that is, like a few minutes. I paused the speedrun here, but yeah, a couple minutes past the end of Fame or Shame there. And now, what mission comes next? Let me look this up.
Dead Man Walking!
Oh yeah, Dead Man Walking. Let's do the blimp strat.
Ooh, that blimp strat didn't go too well. I died on impact. But yeah, we have now gotten into the state of Ohio, which is of course the state Cedar Point is actually located in, and it's also starting to get dark at this point, and this camera has terrible low light performance, as you might have been able to see from that last clip. So throughout the rest of day 1, we're gonna have horrible low light performance clips. Anyhow.
Right. We made it to Cedar Point at night.
Whoa, what a jump! It's nighttime, and also, hey, we made it to Cedar Point. Now, behind me you'll see us driving around the park as we made it. And in a moment, you're gonna see me just kind of lying on the bed, view out of our hotel room window as we made it. So, with the drive out of the way and the GTA speedrun at roughly 5 hours, I think it was just before, let's see you in day 2 in the park.
Alright, it is day 2 and we have made it into early entry, where the few rides that are open, I haven't seen them running with people on them yet. Saw some test cycles, but nothing running. Anyhow, let's head over to try to get on Siren's Curse first thing in the morning.
So, in case you're unaware, Siren's Curse is the new for 2025 Vekoma Tilt Coaster at Cedar Point, the first one to be installed in North America. It has this epic tilt track element at the start of the ride. Very scary if you don't know it's coming. It's also got the Vekoma trains with their great vest restraints and their new track design. Honestly, it's great. Here's my reaction after I got off of it. Alright then, just got off of Siren's Curse. I got back row, that was exciting. Fair bit more airtime than I expected, and
You're in the back row.
oh yeah. Now we're on our way to Top Thrill 2 for a much different experience.
Now, if you didn't know, Top Thrill 2 is the reimagining of Top Thrill Dragster, the world's first roller coaster to go over 400 feet tall. Currently, as it stands, Top Thrill 2 is the tallest operating roller coaster in the world, due to the removal of King of the Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure, and the fact that Falcon's Flight at Six Flags Qiddiya City has not yet opened.
Alright, so we got off Top Thrill 2. That was way colder than I was expecting on that ride. Fortunately, we wanted to go to Steel Vengeance. That is closed right now, so I think we're headed to Maverick. Ooh, fun stuff. Alright, we just got off Magnum. Maverick. Starts with an M. That was about a 40-minute-ish wait. Ooh, there it goes. But yeah, those restraints were very hard on my shoulders. Kind of ow, but yeah, the ride was fun other than that. Let's go. We're gonna go get food now, because a bit hungry. So over towards Millennium Force-ish. Alright, we're getting lunch at Panda Express, or at least one meal, because, you know, got the all-day dining thing. Anyway, orange chicken, which actually tastes pretty good, and then the drink. Tiny size compared to the souvenir bottles you get at other Six Flags parks, but whatever.
Alright, now seems like a good time to mention that while we were there, as part of the hotel stay, we got the all-day drink cup thing, which is similar to the Legacy Six Flags souvenir bottles. Heck, I think Cedar Point also has souvenir bottles, except it's in these paper cups that you see me drinking out of here. You don't even get a lid with them. They're also kind of small. Also at the hotel, this was not included with the hotel stay, but we bought this at the hotel, as this will not appear on the green screen at all because it's also green, but it's the unlimited all-day dining pass, which compared to the dining plan that the Legacy Six Flags has, that I have at Legacy Six Flags, is one meal every 90 minutes. So we definitely tried to take advantage of that. More than 2 meals, basically, is what I'm saying. Alright, so after we ate, Magnum was broken down and it reopened, so we tried to quickly jump on that. The lockers were broken, so we had to go to Rougarou's lockers, which is over that way. Get locked there, then quickly got into the line for Millennium, which was pretty short, all things considered. Then on our way out, Rougarou had empty seats on the trains. It was literally a walk-on, so we rode that. And now we're going to go to Steel Vengeance. TM. Alright, we've arrived at the foot of the beast. And we're putting stuff in lockers now, so yeah, wish us luck on this wild ride. Alright, we finally got off Steel Vengeance. That was a relatively decently long line, as you might expect. And in fact, when we got in line, it was down. That's why there is an empty train cycling. But not too long after we got in line, they announced that the ride was back open, which was an interesting announcement. And yeah, that was definitely very airtime filled. Maybe too airtime filled. Maybe it's the way I was sitting. Anyhow, we're going to maybe do Corkscrew next. Let's see. And that we did. We went and rode the classic Aero looping coaster Corkscrew, which I'm going to compare it to Steam and Demon at Great Escape, as that is the closest thing that I have experience with to this. And for some reason, despite the fact that the ride feels a bit shorter than Steam and Demon, and also the lift is significantly slower, the actual on-ride experience was relatively fast. Something else that was, I guess, notable was that they had automatic restraints on the cars, despite having still the manual restraints lever. They've somehow added an automatic restraint system to this. Why can't more parks do that? Great Escape. Anyhow. Alright, so after Corkscrew, we hit Valraven here. Thoughts on Corkscrew? Those trains are terrible. There was that headrest, which was just the middle of my back. The trains were made for short people. All the horrible things. But, yeah, there's a Valraven. That was pretty good. You know, my first ever B&M dive, and, no real complaints there. Those trains were great. Anyhow, I think we're gonna get some more food and then finally head up Gatekeeper. Okay, so this time for food, we went to one of the places along the main pathway towards the front of the park. We got pizza there. The pizza, in my opinion, wasn't all that good. Somehow the pizza at Great Escape was better. What? Cedar Point is supposed to be known for having good food. This one wasn't that good for me. Anyhow, after that, we headed on over to Gatekeeper, the B&M wing coaster that goes over the front of the park, the main gate, hence the name. Alright, finally got done with Gatekeeper. The line was moving okay until the ride lift stopped because someone had their phone out. Then they had to run 7 empty cycles, and that was an ordeal. Anyhow, I think we're doing Raptor next, so that's one. Alright, got off Raptor for it being very loud. A little bit rough. It's an old B&M, awkward transitions, but it was an okay ride.
I think we might want to go check out Blue Streak next, which is like behind it here.
Here I am talking about automatic restraints again. Basically all the rides here have them, even the old PTC Woody Blue Streak does. And it's not that I haven't seen automatic restraints on an old PTC Woody before. I have. Comet at Great Escape does have automatic restraints, but they were done differently here. In fact, I'm not entirely sure how they were done, because unlike Great Escape that has the push pins on the side of the cars with some solenoids that push metal bars into them to release the restraints, I couldn't see the mechanism that was causing the restraints to be automatic here. I assume it was like something underneath the train that comes up, but I didn't actually see anything. Another weird thing about this is the operator's booth is way down at the end of the station on the other side of the transfer track, which is kind of strange. Anyhow.
Alright, Blue Streak, that was a surprisingly good ride. Airtime on that first hill was definitely a lot more than I expected. I was out of my seat, but yeah, I enjoyed that. Relatively smooth.
Okay, I somehow forgot to record anything about this while I was there, but next we went on Iron Dragon, the old aero suspended coaster at the park. These things are a rare breed. I've never been on one before, so I was glad we got to do this. Now, the start of this ride was actually a pretty, relaxed, just meandering, swinging through the trees, but the second half was surprisingly forceful, which was pretty cool. Anyhow.
Alright, it's suddenly dark now, but yeah, that's fine. We did a whole lot of nothing for a while. It's dark. Deal with it, I guess? I guess we bought some stuff. But yeah, we're gonna try to go back on Top Thrill 2. That one. Okay, wild thing just happened. Top Thrill 2 just rolled back. Hopefully this doesn't delay us getting on, but it probably will. Okay, actually that did mean we can't get on because they're now closed for maintenance. As the train still slowly rolling back right there. Alright, so now that Top Thrill 2 is closed, we're heading over to Siren's Curse again. So, those lights right behind Top Thrill 2 there. Okay, 2 hours later or so of waiting in line, well, all the Fast Pass people got to go way faster. We are done, and the park is closed. Also, my phone won't let me turn on my flashlight for some reason, so that's the end of day 2, I guess. And now for day 3. Now for day 3, where we go back home.
Okay, so the flashlight thing turned out to be because the camera app was open. Yay me. But as for Cedar Point in general, my overall thoughts, yeah. Great rides, great stuff. It was not too crowded by the looks of things. I mean, most of the queue lines didn't use most of the switchbacks. Bit intimidating to see the amount of switchbacks they had and the fact that they weren't in use. This park must get very, very busy. Overall, it was about an hour wait per ride that we went on. Just went on roller coasters. I mean, it's a roller coaster park. What do you do? General things, I liked Siren's Curse a lot. That was the only thing we actually rode twice. That 2-hour wait at the end of the day definitely was something. They were definitely not managing the Fast Pass and regular standby queue correct. There was like 4 trains would go by before the regular queue would move at all. Very much annoying. One of the biggest disappointments with the trip, though, is that we didn't get to ride Magnum XL 200, the first roller coaster to go over 200 feet tall. But just to rub salt in the wound, it was testing the next day as we were leaving. Anyhow, but yeah, there was, overall, liked Cedar Point, hopefully do again, and now let's get back into the GTA 5 speedrunning for the drive home.
Alright, now that we're back on the road, it's time to resume the speedrun where I left off. Just under 5 hours in, and I gotta do Blitz Play stuff because my routing is messed up. Anyhow.
No, plug it away. They still have one.
Alright, we just passed into Pennsylvania. I was not ready with the camera, but it is that long into the speedrun, and I just completed the mission, Mr. Richards. Time to go pay Martin Madrazzo a visit. I believe that's what my route is telling me to do.
Welcome to New York. That sign needs to be replaced.
Yep, okay.
Holy cow, they have an old line matrix here.
Oh, wow. Anyhow, yes, we have now entered back into the state of New York. Final state border that we are crossing during this trip. Now we've done this at approximately this time in the speedrun. Alright, so there he is. 8 hours, 16 minutes in, and I'm just wrapping up the Polito score. And, yeah, the daylight situation here ain't the best. So, yeah, anyhow. Alright, so the sun is getting quite bad right now. It's getting harder and harder to see the screen, but we are just over 9 hours in the speedrun, and we're about to go to bury the hatchet. So, yay. And that is 10 hours into the run, and we are preparing the bureau, or surveying the bureau, or whatever this, I don't remember what this mission's called.
I think the name of the mission you're thinking of is Cleaning Out the Bureau. Yes, that's what I was doing at the 10-hour mark into the speedrun.
Alright, that is 10 hours, 46 minutes in. Basically the end of the Bureau raid, and that is where I guess I will be wrapping the in-car portion of the speedrun, but you know, I will voice over this later telling you what my final time for this whole endeavor is.
Actually, if you want to find out what my final thoughts actually are, you'll have to watch till the very end of the video. But this has been the end of the road trip. I basically stopped playing at this point. I assure you that I did not play at all in the hotel. I was too tired. We just slept there. All the speed running up till now happened in the car on the road. So in terms of road trip percent, within 10 hours of playing in the car, wasn't able to do it. Now, I also will mention that it wasn't exactly 10 hours of actually in the car time. I did stops for rest stops and such. Obviously, there was the break in between the going there and coming back. And there were a few times where I'd pause the timer for other reasons, if I was reaching for a snack, eating a snack, or just generally not playing for a little while. Overall, is trying to speedrun GTA 5 a good way to keep yourself busy during a road trip? Yes. Do you also definitely need some sort of external battery power source? Also, yes, that was the secret sauce. But yeah, that's basically the end of this road trip. Overall, a lot of fun. Would recommend Cedar Point to a lot of people. Maybe don't go when they're having special events. Thankfully, I went the week before. But yeah, road trip. Yay!
Alright, and as your update here of the time for the total speedrun, just shy of 13 hours. That took, admittedly, a bit more than I kind of expected that to, but hey, that's the end of this video. 13 hours speedrun. I believe that's the first one. Anyhow, yeah, if you enjoyed this video and want to check out another one like it, you can check out what I did last year, which was visit a park that was very much the polar opposite in the Six Flags chain of Cedar Point. That will be linked below. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next year.